Hari Om, everyone. Hari Om. Welcome back after summer break. Hope all of you had a good summer. And also you were able to stay in touch with Ramcharitmanas in some way, maybe by listening to the recorded prasangas. If not, we can start now also. Okay. Since this is our first class after summer break, we'll chant the Mangalacharanam Shloka, Yamaya Vashavati, and then we will do the Ganesha Stuti, the Sorata, in the first kand, Balakand, Jo Sumirata Siddhi. You'll find online. You'll give me some indication if you found it. Yanmaya Vashamariti Vishwamakhilam Brahmadi Deva Sura Yat Sattva Shaiva Bhati Sakaram Rajyo Yadhahi Namaha Yatpadaplavamekame Vahi Bhavam Bhute Sthiti Vishavata Vandeham Tamashesha Karana Param Ramcharitmanas. Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram 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 Jai Ram Om Jai Ram Om Syam Ramchandra ki jai Satguru Maharaj ki jai. The tune is very simple. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Ram Jo Sumirata Siddhi Hoi Gananayak Kari Barabarana Kari Barabarana Karavu Anugraha Surya Buddhi Rasi Subhamuna Sadana Subhamuna Sadana Mukha Hoi Bachar Pangu Chadhai Giri Paragahana Giri Paragahana Jasu Krupa Sodayadama Brahma Sakala Kalimaladahana Kalimaladahana Neera Saroroha Samarama Taruna Aruna Varijnayana करुणालय जाहि दीन परमे हरमा करऊ कृपा मर्दन बंदऊ गुरुपद कंजरमा कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरि महामोह तम कुंजरमा जासु बचन रवि कर श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय राम जय राम श्याम रामचंद्र की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. It is said, whenever there is a karya, an effect, that effect will find peace only when it merges with its cause, karana. If you take an example of a wave, the wave will be at peace when it merges into the ocean. Because it has emerged from the ocean, it is sustained in the ocean, and it will go back into the ocean. Other classical examples in Vedanta are clay pots and pans and jars and jugs. There might be so many names and forms. Pot is there, pan is there, jug, jar is there. All of them have come from clay. They are being sustained by clay. And when they get destroyed, they will go back into clay only. The original state is clay. Name and form is just an incidental state. If this is how things are, and don't think it's only with pot, pan, clay, water and wave. Look at your own life. Wherever we are from, whatever is our origin, whenever we go to that place, it leaves a special impact. The facilities might not be as much there, but the place where we were born, moment we go there, we feel this is where I belong. It is just to show there is an inherent bonding between the cause and effect. If this is true, the question we should ask is, what is the cause of Jiva? Or if you say, to simplify it, instead of Jiva, put mind. What is the cause of this mind? It cannot be any inert thing, gross object, because gross objects are jada. Jiva is chetan. Jiva reflects sentiency. So a sentient thing cannot emerge from inert thing. So our scriptures will say, the cause of Jiva is Ishvara. This creation is this whole universe. In that is this tiny little Jiva. The creator is only one, whom we call as Bhagwan. Just like the wave found peace by merging with ocean, clay pot found peace by merging with clay, Jiva will find peace only when it turns to Ishvara. As long as Jiva remains separate from Ishvara, to that extent, Jagat becomes samsara. There is a difference between Jagat and samsara. World is something that is created by Bhagwan. Really speaking, it doesn't bother us. Samsara is when my own raga dveshas get colored, or world has something with which I am interacting with, and that is affecting my mind. That is called as samsara. Jeevatva is the cause of samsara, not Jagat per se. Because that same Jagat appears so nice when mind is beautiful. And same Jagat appears miserable if mind is agitated. So the question is, where does samsara live? In Jagat or in Jiva? Samsara lives in Jiva. And it will live in Jiva as long as it is turned away from Bhagwan. The challenge of all our devotional texts, you take Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramcharitmanas, they say God, love for God and samsara cannot coexist. Devotion to Bhagwan and samsara in the same mind cannot coexist. Either samsara will remain or bhakti will remain. Now this is the main subject matter of Ramcharitmanas. If I want a beautiful mind, a beautiful life, and I recognize the need of turning my mind to God, what is the nature of Bhagwan? How does he look? How does he transact? How did he transact in this world? What is his nature? All of that is elaborated in Ramcharitmanas. Swami Akhandanandaji would say, another name of guna, another meaning of guna is rope. Generally we define guna as quality. Another meaning of guna is rope. So when we say sa-guna, it is as though Bhagwan is throwing ropes down into this world. And he says, see if you can catch even one and climb up. What are those ropes? One rope is of his nama, name. Somebody might be drawn towards Bhagwan's name. Bhagwan says, hold on to that, you will reach me. Somebody might be drawn towards his rupa, his form. We just heard the Rama Stuti. The elaboration of Bhagwan's beauty, his form. That is his rupa. How are his eyes? How is his body? How is his walk? All of that is rupa. Then comes his leela, what all things he does as God, which no human being can do. His leela becomes one rope. Somebody's heart will melt with one leela. Bhagwan says, hold on to that. It's a great accomplishment for any devotional text. Even in that sadhaka's journey, devotional journey, if his heart cries for Bhagwan, something melts his heart, that will become his support for Uddhar. Ramakrishna Paramshi gives a beautiful example. He says, if a needle is covered with mud, online audio is weak? Not able to hear, okay.
Yeah, that's right, Sohamji. So for me, it seems to be okay, but like many folks are saying it's not. Maybe the feed that is going into the laptop mic.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. You all heard, right? Whatever I spoke until now? Okay, good.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sohamji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. What was the example? Needle covered with dirt. He says if needle is covered with dirt, magnet cannot pull it. So this devotional practice of listening to Bhagwan's Katha, listening to different facets of Bhagwan's personality, it will slowly remove the impurities of the mind. And that is going to be a great blessing for that sadhaka to move forward in his spiritual journey. So, what were you discussing? The ropes. Nama, Rupa, Leela. Last one is Charitra. Chara, word by itself, means to walk. Chara is not always graze. Huh? So, when you say Saha Charati, it doesn't mean he is grazing. Chara means to walk. Saha Charati means he is roaming around. Now, what all things is he doing while he is roaming around? That is called as Charitra. While he was doing his charanam, when he was going around, moving around, list of things that he did. Where did he go? What did he do? How did he talk? How did he interact with people? All of that put together is called as Charitra. So over here, when Bhagwan Rama Avatara was there, when he walked around, what all things he did? Recollecting all this in the mind becomes Ramcharitmanas. That is the background of this particular text. Technically, if you want to see, they say our mind has primarily three limitations. Three things which will bother us. One thing is impurity of the mind in the form of jealousy, in the form of anger, greed. That is the first one, mala. Second is restlessness of the mind, called as vikshepa. Reason, no reason, it will keep jumping from one thing to another. That is called as vikshepa. And last one is, it will think itself to be finite. Forgetfulness of its own higher nature. That is the third limitation. Tomorrow in Mundaka class also we will see this. You know, we don't like somebody giving a wrong introduction of us. If somebody is a PhD and you call that person a master's, you'll say, no sir, I have finished my PhD. Somebody is Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, and you just introduce this person as Padma Shri. They won't like it. But you know, lifelong we have lived with mistaken identity of our own true nature. Our essential nature is consciousness, but I keep saying I am this body. Essential nature is infinite. I keep saying I am finite. That is the third limitation, which will be removed by Shravanam. Ignorance about my own true self will be removed by Vedanta Shravanam. Vikshepa of my mind will be removed by turning mind towards God. Agitations of the mind will be removed by, or will be removed when I turn my attention to Bhagwan. In whatever form. If it is Stotram, that is my Upasana. If it is Nama Japa, that is my anchor. If it is just meditating upon form of the Lord, that is my anchor. Whatever turns mind towards the Lord will help in removing agitations, restlessness of the mind. With that attitude, when I work in this world, which in other words is called as Karma Yoga, that will remove impurities of the mind. So Karma Yoga removing Mala, devotion removing Vikshepa, and Vedanta Shravanam removing Avarana. Avarana or ignorance about my own true self. Out of these three, the most bothersome are the first two. Avarana is actually innocent and very easy to remove, provided the first two are taken care. In whichever Vedantic text if you hear, just by Shravanam you get moksha. there is a terms and conditions apply. Small star will be there, provided Mala Vikshepa is removed already. Sadhaka should not be bothered by any kind of impurity. 100% removal is great Mahatma. But at least his life is not always infested by these enemies. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, all those things. And to a great extent, love for God has come in his heart. He says that sadhaka will be able to remove avarana. All of this is included in this text, Ramcharitmanas. It will help us understand nature of Bhagwan. There will be portions which will describe his form. Now, when we start AyodhyaKand, different stutis will come. If you want, you can memorize all those stutis and just chant it and see if you can bring the meaning when you chant those stutis. That is meditation on form of the Lord, upasana. Different insights Goswamiji will give for day-to-day life, what all things we can learn. So it's all packed in one text, that is Ramcharitmanas. Now we were discussing Bharatji's Charitra. This class, don't worry about going back and forth, okay? It has been 5 months, I was counting, since our last class. You don't have to see the verse. I have compiled everything together. Just listen. I'll recap from 157 to 301. Okay, almost 150 dohas. Not doha by doha, but just the key ideas. AyodhyaKand after 157th doha is actually Bharatji's Charitra. There is nothing other than Bharatji after 157. He is an exemplary devotee, exemplary sevaka, and gives lot of insights into what is the heart of a devotee. He was in his uncle's home when everything happened in Ayodhya. Kaikeyi's mind got twisted. She created all the chaos. Dashrath Maharaj was forced to give those 2 boons. One, she said, Bharatji should become the king and Bhagwan Rama should go to the forest for 14 years. That is my second boon. With all this happening, Bhagwan Rama has left to the forest. Dashrath Maharaj has given up his physical body. At that time, Vasishtha Maharshi says, call Bharatji now. Don't tell him what has happened, because these are political matters. Any enemy can attack a kingdom without a king. King designate has been exiled, and king to be doesn't even know. So just tell him that he should come back quickly. And you see the welcome that Bharatji gets when he comes. Again, don't flip your pages, just listen. Pura jana milahi na kahi kachu, kavahi johar rahi jahi. People see him, do quick pranams and just go away. Nobody stops to ask him, how is he doing? He has come back after a long time. Everybody is doubting him with this intention that even he is involved in sending Bhagwan Rama away. Bharatji also cannot ask because he knows that everybody is anxious. They are unhappy right now. They are in deep sorrow. Then he meets Kaikeyi, who comes with an arti plate, very excited. And she tells him, great calamity was supposed to come on you. I averted it. And she goes on to tell the details. And Bharatji gets very angry. And that anger which he had towards Kaikeyi, he holds on to it all the way until he meets Bhagwan Rama. And in spite of several times different people telling, Bharadwaji tells him, Vasishtha Maharshi tells him, only when Bhagwan Rama finally tells him, he calms down with whatever he was feeling. After this, Vasishtha Maharshi gives advice to Bharatji. He says, O Bharata, all said and done, you should appreciate one thing. You might be asking that you are Kulaguru. Vasishtha Maharshi was Kulaguru of Dashrath Maharaj. Even if Dashrath Maharaj did not want to do something, if Vasishtha Maharshi says it, he will do it. That much of authority Vasishtha Maharshi had. Vasishtha Maharshi says, you might wonder why I didn't say anything, or why I did not stop this thing happening in Ayodhya. It's a very famous Doha. Sunahu Bharata Bhavi Prabala Bilaki Kaheu Muninath. He says this destiny is very, very powerful. With both my hands raised, I am shouting at the top of my voice. Hani Labhu, loss and profit. Jeevana Maranu, life and death. Jasa Apajasa, good name and bad name. Vidhihat. All these three pairs are in the hands of destiny. Whatever past karmas are there, they will present themselves as different situations. Rather than trying to change them, we have to learn the art of gracefully facing them. So there is no point in going back and saying, why couldn't you have done something? Why didn't we change this? Why did Bhagwan Rama have to go? He says all those things are not worthy of discussion. What we have to discuss now is how do we face this situation which is in front of us. Then he gives a very beautiful guidance to Bharatji. He says if somebody passes away, sorrow is very natural. No matter who that person is, nearby, little bit further away, whatever was our relationship, sorrow is nothing out of place. But he says there is no need to grieve for that person. There is a difference between dukkha and shoka. Dukkha means sorrow. Shoka means lamenting, grieving continuously. And he says, who is worthy of grief? He lists around 10 people. I won't go into details of those 10. He lists Brahmachari worthy of grief, Grahastha worthy of grief, Vanaprastha worthy of grief, Sannyasi worthy of grief, and several other examples he gives. But the bottom line is, that person who did not hold on to his dharma, that person who did not hold on to his values, that person is worthy of grief. Not Dashrath Maharaj. He says he lived such a pious life, such a noble life. He got Bhagwan as his son. What else can you ask for him? So that instruction he gives, and he says, now it is your turn to fulfill the second boon. Again he gives list of reasons why Bharatji should sit on the throne. He says, you are not asked for it. Neither you are eager to sit on the throne. Dashrath Maharaj has given you. And if you do it, his words will be fulfilled, his boon will be fulfilled, his words will be kept. If you sit on the throne, Bhagwan Rama will be happy, Sitaji will be happy. So like this he gives several reasons. Now Bharatji's response to that is something very beautiful. He is respectful of the fact that one who is talking to him is his guru. But at the same time, he cannot fully agree with what he is saying. He says, whatever you said is good. You considered several people's good in it. But have you ever thought, what is my good in this? That is his Vangmaya tapas. Vangmaya tapas means what? Without being disrespectful, communicating the point. This we see even in Sitaji's conversation with Kausalyaji. When they have to go to the forest, Kausalyaji says, at least leave her with me. And Sitaji talks to Kausalyaji, maintaining all the bounds, but at the same time communicates what she has to communicate. That is Bharatji. He is firm yet humble. Firmness in his thought, but humility in his speech. And he is having immeasurable love for Bhagwan. This is where Goswamiji starts slowly introducing it. And whenever he tries to explain it, he says, this is it, I cannot explain it any further. Because Bharatji's love, he gives several metaphors. One metaphor later he gives, Bharatji's love for God is like an ocean. And Vasishtaji says, my mind right now is like a boat, a tiny little boat on the shore without oar. Not knowing what to do, not knowing how to understand this devotee of God called Bharatji. So he says, Hita hamara siyapati sevakai, so hari lena matu kutilai. Our goodness does not lie in sitting in any power position. He says, our goodness lies in becoming sevaka of the Lord. Hita hamara. Hita means well-being. In what lies our well-being? Siyapati sevakai. In becoming Bhagwan Rama's servant. In that alone lies my well-being, not in anything else. And he says, this well-being of mine, Kaikai took away. So hari leenha matu kutilai. Kutilai means the crookedness of Kaikai. That took away even this well-being of mine to serve Bhagwan wholeheartedly. And he says, no matter who doubts me, there are two people who will never doubt me. That is Bhagwan Rama and Sita ji. They will never have this doubt whether I was involved in all these things. Then quickly he arranges for everybody to go to Chitrakoot from Ayodhya. At the same time he says this wealth of Ayodhya belongs to Rama. So he makes sure that there are caretakers. There are people who are keeping an eye on Ayodhya. Having taken care of all these arrangements, he goes. Now that journey was another portion we had seen in detail. Journey from Ayodhya to Chitrakoot. Right when he starts, he makes sure that everybody is having their appropriate positions. Mothers are in the palanquins. Guru Vasishtaji, he has his own chariot and palanquin. And finally starts walking all the way back. This I had shared, I think, in that portion. Gurudev's yatras, when he would do, so previous yajnas were 100-day long yajnas, they would all conclude with a tirtha yatra. To the nearby pond, nearby pilgrimage place, they would go and do something on the last day to culminate this whole yajna. There are nice articles where the main title is Chief Sevak. And that tag always went with Gurudev. Because at that time there was no organized group, even to put those many people together to arrange all the buses to take them to that place. If one bus breaks down, everybody has to get down. And you would be the first person to stop. We came together, we will go together, we'll come back together. That is Bharatji over here. He makes sure all arrangements are taken care and then starts walking. When he starts walking, everybody gets down from palanquin. All horses, people start getting down. Kausalaji tells him, anyway they are in sorrow. This austerity of yours will give more trouble to them. Please get into a palanquin. We'll all go together. He doesn't say it is my vratam. Once I've given a word, I will not go back on it. Very quietly he gets inside. Everybody starts walking. These are different facets of bhakti. You have to catch the message that Bharatji is giving in each one of these acts of his. The journey from Ayodhya to Chitrakoot, we had seen the symbolic meaning also. It is journey of a Bhakta from Jiva to Ishvara. And when he is walking, the first thing what he has is Varanam. Single pointed choice to attain God, and that resolve. where he is not distracted by anything of this world. Otherwise, many a times, Jiva feels that I need to attain God. But Bhagwan's Maya is such, we can blame him only for this, that this world he has made in such a way, it will distract or take that person's attention away every now and then. It's like that elephant, when it is moving, it will try to nibble on things here and there. He found some bananas, it will just take. The mahout, if he is alert, he will just give a whack. It will leave it, again come in between. For some time it will go, again find something on this side. How that mahout gives a whack, our buddhi should give a whack. Whenever this mind goes too astray and purpose shifts away from Bhagwan, he says give it a little bit of whack to come back. So that is our Bharatji, single pointed. And whenever we walk on the spiritual path, some disciplines we will have to take. With food we will have to take. Waking, sleeping, we will have to take some disciplines. Which places we go, which places we should not go. With that, some discipline should be there. But none of these things should become such that it is an inconvenience to others. That is what Bharatji is showing. He might want to go walking. But if everybody is inconvenienced because of his decision, he says sadhana is to do that which is in greater good. We had seen several examples even with food. Sometimes for austerity or whatever reason, if you make it so rigid and expect everybody else to help to meet those needs, he says that is not tapasya. Tapasya is that where the mind is tuned, mind is trained, but not at everybody else's cost. They start their journey. First they meet Nishadraj. Nishadraj is the one who had just met Bhagwan. He had learnt Lakshmana Gita from Lakshmanji himself. And when he sees Bharatji, he wonders why is his brother coming with all the army. And he gives a good long speech, prepares his people to attack. Right at that time, somebody sneezes. And they say, this is a good omen. It is no danger. Let us go and build friendship with them. Then Nishadraj comes, gets the love of Bharatji. Even Vasishta Maharshi blesses him. Rama kina apana jabahite, bhayav bhuvana bhushana tabahite. Nishadraj tells, people praise me so much. He says, I have become so great, but there is nothing, my greatness, there is nothing that I have done to become this. From the day Bhagwan accepted me, from that day I have become adorable. That is the meaning of that. Rama kina apana jabahite. When Bhagwan said, you are mine. From that day onwards, the whole world has started adoring me. Bhuvana, bhayav bhuvana bhushana. Bhuvana means world, bhushana means ornament. From that day onwards. Then he takes Bharatji to all the places where all Bhagwan had visited. Then Bharatji moves forward to Prayagraj, where he does prayers to the Sangam. Prayagraj is offering prayers. That is where the famous Doha comes. This one I think we should sing together or lead and repeat. That way you don't have to flip pages. Arathana dharamana kamaruchi, Arathana dharamana kamaruchi, Gatina chahau niraban, Gatina chahau niraban, Janam janamarati Rama pada, Janam janamarati Rama pada, Yah barudanana an, Yah baradanuna an. His prayer to Prayagraj is, people generally say there are 4 Purusharthas: Artha, Dharma, Kama, and Moksha. Arthana, Dharmana, Kamaruchi. He says, I don't want wealth. Dharma also is not of too much use to me right now. Kama, desire, has walked away. Gatina chahu nirvana. Even striving for moksha has stopped. What do you want? He says, in that Bhagwan in whom I find peace, I find rest, may my mind revel in that Bhagwan. Janama janama rati Rama pada. Yaha barudanu na ana. Other than this, I don't want anything else. We should understand this Doha carefully. This can be said only by Siddha Bhakta. Siddha Bhakta means one who already has developed love for God, one who has discovered nature of God. His prayer is, Bhagwan, may my mind remain there. If you have already discovered something, there is no need to search for that thing. Then only you can say, I don't want to search anymore. Not before finding it. This Doha confuses many people. They say, in Viveka Chudamani, they said, you should strive for moksha. And Bharat ji in Ramcharitmanas said, I don't want even moksha. So what should I do? Should I strive for moksha, or should I say, I'm good, no need for moksha? Because anyway, that is what my mind tells me. So there we should remember, for sadhaka, those 4 purusharthas are very much true. When we live life like that, when Bhagwan's grace comes to that sadhaka, impurities go down, mind becomes purer, and he actually discovers that truth for himself. Then he says, now I just want to revel in that. There is one thing called as jnana, another thing called as jnana nishtha. Once jnanam has taken place, the quest is for nishtha. This you will see in several compositions. Mirabai's composition, Hari mein to laakh jatana karahari. She says, I've gotten tired searching for you everywhere. Now she says, there is no need to put any more effort. Who can say that? The one who has found Bhagwan, after that the statement is, Bhagwan, there is no need to search anymore. Whatever I was looking for, I found it. So then there is a nice conversation between Bharadwaj and Bharatji, where Bharadwaj tries to remove the guilt. He says, don't feel so guilty about what your mother has done, that you are responsible for Bhagwan's sorrow. Do you even know that when Bhagwan was offering Arghya to Prayagraj, he was taking your name? And whole night he spoke about your glory. So don't have this ill feeling, don't have this guilt in your heart that you have done something wrong. This is where we had seen, if at all we want to get any clarity about what Bhagwan thinks about us. So Puja Guruji had mentioned this in Navadha Bhakti. He said, saints are the ears, eyes, and mouth of the Lord. If you want to tell something to Bhagwan, tell a Mahatma. It will reach Bhagwan. If you want to know how Bhagwan sees us, ask a Mahatma. Whatever their view is, Bhagwan's view is also that. And if you want to know what Bhagwan wants to tell us, listen to their speech. Because what Bhagwan wants to tell is coming through them only. So for Bharatji, if he has to remove his guilt, he cannot ask anybody. Whatever Bharadwaji is telling him, that is a valid understanding of what Bhagwan thinks about him. Then Bharadwaji says, you all have come after a long travel. Let me give you some refreshments. And with that, he brings down entire Swarga in Prayagraj. And everybody starts enjoying it, except Bharatji. Goswamiji writes, Sampata chakai bharatu chaka, muni ayasa khilavar. This chakwa and chakvi bird, when night comes, they become separated. They don't even look at each other. Like that, Bharatji's mind was, and the glamour which was around him, that was like the other thing. Totally turned away, not even looking at what is around. Then when Bharatji starts continuing his journey from Prayagraj, whole nature starts blessing him. Cloud forms an umbrella over his head. The earth becomes soft. Cool breeze starts blowing. And when such things happen, our Indra Bhagwan gets anxious. He starts planning something to stop Bharatji's journey. This is when a beautiful portion comes of Brihaspatiji's teaching to Indra Bhagwan. Brihaspatiji is Guru of Devatas. He says, Indra Bhagwan, note one thing. Nirguna Brahma is equanimous. It doesn't distinguish between good, bad, indifferent. On all three of them, it will illumine as Sakshi. It is just like sun. Sun will give light to good person, bad person. It will not distinguish. Or a lamp for that matter. It will just illumine. It will not distinguish who is who. Like that, Nirguna Brahma illumines. But he says, please note this point. Saguna Brahma is not equanimous. He says, Saguna Brahma will shower special grace and protection on the one who seeks it. This is a very nice portion. Jadyapi samanahi ragana roshu. Gahina papa puna guna doshu. Although this truth, Nirguna Brahma is equanimous, doesn't take anything, doesn't give anything. But still, Rama sada sevaka ruchi rakhi. Veda Purana sadhu sura sakhi. When it takes that same Nirguna Brahma becomes Saguna, it will always keep in mind what the devotee wants. Another famous chaupai comes. Karma pradhana biswa kariraka, jojasa karesu tasaphala chaka. Whatever a person does, according to their karma, they get karma phala. This is true. But the devotee who seeks God's grace, he doesn't get only karma phala. He gets karma phala plus grace. Tadapi karahi sama bishama bihara. Bhagwan's vyavahara towards his devotees and what do you call the others? Undevotees or non-devotees. Okay, so there is lot of partiality there. Bishama means partiality. Bhagata abhagata hridaya anusara. Sanskrit, Avadi it is easy. Devotee is called Bhakta, non-devotee is called Abhakta. Bhagata abhagata hridaya anusara. According to their heart, the love they have towards God, to that extent, they will get the results. He says, Bhagwan is like fire. The one who goes closer, that person shivering goes away. Bhakta went closer, he was happily sitting there, basking. Abhakta stayed far and kept shivering. And he says, Bhagwan is not showering his grace. He says, no. Bhagwan is very much ready to shower his grace. Only what he needs is, first step should be from devotee's side. Another example given for this is, when you have a swimming pool, it starts with 3 feet, goes all the way, let's say, until 10 feet. The water in the swimming pool is same, but depth is not same. Means if you go at 3 feet end, the result will be very different than if you go at 10 feet end. You say water is same, how come I'm getting two different results? He said, water is same, depth is not same. Like that, Saguna Brahma is not equanimous. Nirguna Brahma is Sakshi. Saguna Brahma will shower grace on those who come close. So Brihaspati ji tells Indra Bhagwan, be very careful. Before you do anything to Bharat ji, remember that Bharat ji's protection is Bhagwan Rama. So you are not entering into battle with Bharat ji, you are entering into battle with Bhagwan Rama. The same point Bhagwan Krishna tells Sanjaya. Day before Mahabharata war, Dhritarashtra gives some advice to Sanjaya. Whatever Arjuna talks in first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Dhritarashtra already fed it in Sanjaya's mind and said, go and tell him this. Why are you fighting this war? Just accept defeat, give us what we want. Why all this? And when Sanjaya comes, first he meets Bhagwan Krishna lying there. He says, before you go inside, let us talk. And Bhagwan Krishna's message to Sanjaya is, tell Dhritarashtra, whoever enters into a battle with Arjuna is entering into a battle with Lord of the Universe. So that Brihaspati ji reminds him here. Devotee has a special kavacha, special protection. Don't forget. Brihaspati ji's point is to hope that a student becomes a devotee. Not to scare him. That if you attack Bharat ji, then something will happen. Not in that way. But that is the greatness of bhakti. Instead of thinking about all this, you become a bhakta. When some support is available, why not take it? Then all of them reach Chitrakoot. Sita ji has a dream that Bharat ji is coming back, but she sees her mother-in-laws in a strange way. She says, everything is not good. That is what I am feeling. Then suddenly they see that cloud of dust rising, and Lakshman ji misunderstands that. And he feels Bharat ji is coming with his army to attack Bhagwan Rama, and he gets very angry and starts saying all those things. But then Bhagwan had so much trust in Bharat ji. He says, Bharatahi hoi na rajamadu, bidhi hari hara pada pai. What is Ayodhya's throne? Even if you make Bharat ji creator, if you give him Brahmaji's position, even then he will not have Rajamada. I have that much trust in Bharat ji. Kabahuna kanji sikarani chira sindhu binasai. If Bhagwan Vishnu's milky ocean is there, and you take one lemon and squeeze in it, it will not go bad. So Bharat ji's devotion is such, this Rajapada, Rajamada, they are all tiny little things. He doesn't even care about these things. So with that, Lakshman ji calms down. That was one good thing about Lakshman ji. He would get angry, but the moment Bhagwan says calm down, he would calm down. You know, there are two stages of every sadhana. One is the perfected stage, where a person never gets angry, never has any kind of falls. Second one is, who is also a sadhaka. He will get angry, but he will come out of it quickly. And he will acknowledge. That is a great quality in a sadhaka, which will make him to climb the next step. Puja Guruji has written a nice article on forgiveness. Previously, I think they used to have that speaking tree. It would come, Times of India. So there he says, there are two stages of forgiveness, same like this. One is Bhagwan Rama's forgiveness, where not even one thought came that Kaikeyi did something wrong. And second is Lakshman ji's forgiveness. He is angry with her, but he is able to forgive because Bhagwan likes it. Whatever Bhagwan loves, Lakshman ji says, that is okay with me. I might have a different opinion. So that is this meeting that they have. Lakshmanji forgives, and finally all of them meet. Goswamiji says this is indescribable. The first time Bharatji meets Bhagwan, that description also he gave. There was a tree which was in front of their kutir, and he could see from that tree. Bharatji could see them, but Bhagwan could not see him. Lakshmanji is slightly bent and asking a question, and Bhagwan Rama is lovingly answering his question. That was the first sight he saw. Bhagwan met everybody, but when he has to meet the mothers, Prathama Rama Bheti Kaikai Sarala Subhaya Bhagati Mati Bhei. First mother whom he met was Kaikai. And not only did he forgive her, but he also tried to remove her guilt. There is one thing to say, I forgive you. It is another to say or convince that person you have not done anything wrong. This happens to everybody. Kala karama bidhi siradhari khori. If destiny, time, they align in certain ways, such a thing might happen. Don't blame yourself on this. Then Vasishtha Maharshi tells Bhagwan Rama about Dashrath Maharaj passing away. All of them do the rituals, everything is done. Then slowly there are conversations which begin. Now they say the main purpose we have come is to take Bhagwan back, but how do we start it? So Vasishtha ji is there, Bhagwan is there. Bhagwan tells Vasishtha ji, it has been 2 days, all of you are here, and these are all city people. They like air-conditioned homes, lot of cleanliness, bugs and all they don't like. And this is forest life. Can you imagine how much pain and suffering they are going through? So now it is time, all of you should go back. Vasishtha Maharshi says, we didn't even start our conversation. Bhagwan already wants us to go back. Then he says, don't worry about their discomfort. Just by looking at you, they are getting whatever they have to get. Please allow us to stay few more days. Don't ask us to go right away. Then people just go back. Vasishtha Maharshi doesn't start any conversation at that time. This is where the tribal people who are there, they shower their love on Ayodhya Vasis. They bring different fruits. They take care of them as though they are guests. And remember, they did not have anything. That is the beauty of Atitya. If Dravya is there, Dravya means objects are there, it is helpful. But if Dravya is not there, still Atitya can be maintained, sometimes to even greater level. If you take Dravya only, Ravana had so much. All of them, they had so much of valuables. But that Atitya was not there. That valuable was used to show how much I have. But in the case of these tribal people, just with pure love, they say, your presence here is our joy. And then people start praising them. Oh, you all are such nice people. You took care of us so well. They say, Yaha hamari ati badi sevakai, le hi na basana basana chorai. He says, our past was something that we are not very proud of. We used to do all sorts of things. You should be happy that we have not done any of those things. How did it all happen? Sapanehu dharma buddhi kasakau, yaha raghunandana darasa prabhavu. In our mind, even in our dream, such kind of good thoughts would not come. That we should take care of others, Atitya. Nothing was there. All this is the power of darshan of Bhagwan Rama. The very fact that we saw him has brought all these qualities in us. Jabate Prabhupada Padumanihare Mite Dusaha Duka Dosha Hamare. From the day we saw Bhagwan's feet, from that day all wrong tendencies have gone away. So it's a very nice portion of the love that tribal people shower on Ayodhyavasis. But still the question is not solved. Who is going to tell Bhagwan? So Bharatji, he is having this dilemma. We'll continue in the next session, this portion. Okay. Just few more dohas are there, maybe around 25 dohas. We had stopped at 301. Then we will enter AyodhyaKand. अगणित गुणगण भूषण रामा आश्रित वत्सल जय जय रामा अयोध्यवासी सीता रामा आपद बांधव जय जय रामा दशरथ नंदन श्री रामा दशमुख मर्दन जय जय रामा कौसल्या सुखवर्धन रामा कामित फलदा जय जय रामा पाप विमोचन श्री रामा पट्टाभिरामा जय जय रामा जानकी वल्लभ सीता रामा जय रघुरामा जय सीता रामा वानर सेवित श्री रामा वारिधि बंधन जय जय रामा हनुमत पूजित सीता रामा श्री राम जय जय रामा रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावना सीता राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम स्यावर रामचंद्र की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. Tomorrow morning 6:30 we'll have Mundaka Upanishad. Again the recap and then we'll continue with the verses. Hari Om. Hari Om.